In this video, I'm walking you through a real day in the life of a digital marketing media buyer. You'll see what I do from the moment I log in, checking campaign performance, optimizing ads, managing budgets, reporting to clients, all the actual work. I've been doing this for over 17 years across Google Ads, Meta, and more. So I'm showing you exactly what this job looks like. So let's get into it. So starting off, I'm going to talk about my job experience as someone who's worked in media buying and paid advertising for over 17 years. Bear in mind, I've worked in this role under different titles in my career. I've been an ad operations manager, a senior ad operations manager, and eventually a media strategist making $125K a year in the corporate world. All those roles involve doing the same things: buying ad space, managing advertising budgets, optimizing campaigns, and reporting results. So before I get into the job too much, I did say I've worked as a media buyer. The reality is job titles in digital marketing are kind of all over the place. You might see the same work called media buyer, paid media specialist, digital advertising manager, PPC specialist. Really just depends on the company. Just keep that in mind when you apply to jobs in the future. Don't get too hung up on the exact title. Look at what the actual responsibilities are. Whether I was working in healthcare, e-com, or B2B, the day-to-day was pretty much the same. Even if you're selling different products, the process is the same. You might end up doing something similar, even if the job titles are different, which you'll kind of see and understand as I explain this job. All right, so let me break down what this job actually involves. The main thing you're doing is running ad campaigns on platforms like Google Ads and Meta Ads Manager, which handles both Facebook and Instagram ads. You're working with client budgets, and those budgets can range from small local businesses spending a few $1,000s to larger accounts spending tens of thousands or more. And your goal is simple: get the best return on ad spend, or ROAS. That just means for every dollar your client spends on ads, you want to make sure you're making more money back, ideally a lot more. So the way this works is you follow a campaign lifecycle, pretty systematic once you understand it. First, you've got setup. That's building campaigns from scratch, choosing campaign objectives, setting budgets, defining your target audience. Are you targeting people based on their age, their location, their interests? Are you targeting people who've already visited the website? You're making those decisions up front. Then you've got launch. You launch the campaign and you're watching the initial performance. You need to confirm everything's tracking right, the ads are running, and there's no technical problems. After that comes monitor. That's your daily check-ins on key metrics. You're looking at CTR. That's click-through rate. How many people are clicking your ads? You're looking at CPA, which is cost per acquisition. How much it costs to get a conversion. And you're looking at conversion rate, which is how many people are actually buying or filling out a form after they click. Then you move into optimize. This is where you're adjusting bids, pausing ads that aren't performing well, you're scaling ones that are working. Maybe you increase the budget on a winning ad, or you test new audiences. Finally, there's report. You're showing results to clients or stakeholders, showing them what worked, what didn't, and what you're planning to test next. So that's the basic framework. Every campaign follows this loop. It's systematic and data-driven. Platforms give you the tools, and your job is knowing which levers to pull when. And before I get into the actual day-to-day, let me just throw this out there. I'm a coach inside the Course Careers digital marketing course. If you join, you'll get access to coaching and workshops with people like me to help you get hired. There's also a free introduction course that shows you what the job is actually like day to day and the exact skills you'll need to get hired. I'll leave the link in the description so you can check that out. Back when I was learning this stuff, I had to figure it out piece by piece. I taught myself Google Ads when I was working for a nonprofit, then kept learning new platforms and skills over the years. I spent a couple of years just figuring out what actually mattered, and another year realizing half the stuff I learned was already outdated. If I'd had something like Course Careers back then, I'd probably be even further along in my career. But anyway, let me get into what the work actually looks like. I usually start my day around 7:30 or 8 a.m. One of the things I love about freelancing is I get to work whenever I want. And I usually get my work done in the morning so I can spend my afternoons with my kids. The very first thing I do is open up my campaign dashboards. I'm logging into Google Ads, Meta Ads Manager, and I'm taking a look at the overnight performance. I'm asking myself, did campaigns hit target CPA? Is ROAS trending up or down? Are there any budget pacing issues? Like, are we spending too fast or too slow? Did any campaigns suddenly stop delivering or spike in costs? I'm flagging anything that needs attention. If something's overspending or under delivering, I need to catch it early before it becomes a bigger problem. So once I've done that, I look into specific campaigns that need adjustments. This is where I'm getting hands-on. I'm adjusting bids on keywords or audiences that are converting well, pausing ads that aren't performing well. Like if an ad has a really low click-through rate or a really high cost per acquisition, I'll turn it off and try something else. And I'm constantly testing new ad creatives. That means swapping out headlines, images, calls to action, use tools like Canva for quick updates. Sometimes I'll use ChatGPT to come up with ad copy variations. Here's an example. Let's say I've got an e-commerce client running a sale. I'll create 3 or 4 ads testing different hooks like 50% off today, limited stock alert, last chance sale, and then I let the data tell me which one works best with the audience. That's the beauty of digital advertising. You don't have to guess. You test, you measure, and you let the numbers tell you what to do. Then in the afternoon, I'm usually doing client communication and reporting. I could be weekly or bi-weekly check-ins, depending on the client. I'll hop on a call or I'll send an email walking them through performance. I'll say, here's what we spent, here's what we made, here's what we're testing next. I'm setting expectations, getting their feedback on what I'm doing, and making sure they get what we're doing. Client communication is a huge part of this job. You need to be managing relationships and keeping people updated. I build reports using tools like Google Sheets, Looker Studio, or sometimes just the reporting inside Google Ads and Meta. Now here's something I don't think people realize about this job. A lot of mornings before I get to the live campaigns, I spend time learning. New ad formats are coming up all the time. Performance Max campaigns, Advantage Plus campaigns, AI bidding updates. If you're not staying current, you fall behind fast. So I'll log into a test account, I'll play around with new features, I'll see what breaks, I'll see what works. That's honestly how I figured out most of what I know. Just getting my hands dirty and experimenting. Back when I first got into digital marketing, I was working for a nonprofit and we got approved for Google grants. That gave us free ad spend. But I had to learn how to use Google Ads to take advantage of it. So I just went all in, made mistakes, learned from them, and kept building my skills. That habit of always testing and learning is honestly what got me that $45K nonprofit job to working with multi-billion-dollar companies. You can't just learn it once and coast. The platforms change, the algorithms change, people's behavior changes. You've got to stay curious and keep adapting. And the last thing I'll say about day-to-day is this job involves a lot of communicating. Even as a freelancer, I'm constantly working with clients, creative teams, and sometimes other marketers. Not everyone's an expert on everything, so you lean in on other people. Maybe I need a graphic designer to create a new ad visual. Maybe I need a copywriter to punch up some ad copy. Maybe I need to talk strategy with another marketer to get a fresh perspective. That's totally normal and expected. This isn't a job where you're doing it all solo. All right, so I know this video wasn't the glamorous day in the life where I'm drinking coffee in a trendy office or whatever, but hopefully it gave you a real sense of what media buying actually looks like day to day. It's strategic, it's data-driven, it's creative, and it's honestly really rewarding when you see a campaign take off and deliver great results for a client. And just to give you some perspective on the income potential here, I started at $45K in my first digital marketing role after working in PR for a few years. Over 17 years, I worked my way up to $125K as a media strategist. Now I'm making over $200K a year as a freelancer, and I'm building my own agency. So you can really level up if you keep learning and stay on top of industry changes. Let me know in the comments if you want more videos like this, or if there's something specific about digital marketing you want me to break down. I'd really appreciate the feedback. If you're serious about learning those skills, check out the free intro course from Course Careers. Links in the description. It'll show you exactly what the job involves and how people are getting hired without degrees, and sometimes just in a few months. Thanks so much for watching this far. Thank you to everyone who supports this channel, and I'll see you in the next video.